ever. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll never talk about the thing about how he was like setting up, I don't know, selling like lemonade or something. Do you know what I'm saying? All these kind of things. He weren't just like, I don't want to go to school and I'm just gonna be chilling, like watching TV or on the roads, like playing like with my friends. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, if you don't want to go to school, that's not the end of the world. But know why you're not going to school. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just like for these people, so, you know, please teach these people that, you know, it's not about just having a 9-to-5 job. That the good thing about the social media is it has opened up a world where people could be entrepreneurial. Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. But then on the flip side, it seems that the most people that are blowing off of their Instagram and they're just promoting this lavish lifestyle, this, like, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of the people, and what's a shame as well is it's fashionable to promote the lavish lifestyle or the easy lifestyle. So even there's people that have worked hard but they kind of make it look like they didn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
And the joke is, a lot of them don't actually live this lavish life. They just take pictures and edit them, you know, and
they take 100 pictures and choose the one that tells the best story.
Yeah, and I've read an article about how Instagram influencers, they stage their pictures.
100%.
So it looks so lavish, like they've got this from there and there, and it looks like they're living the best life when, you know, they may not be. Right. But they have to sell this dream to everyone else, so people continue following them. Yeah. Oh, they're living this great life. I can possibly live that great life too if I do what they do.
And I think I've always said, like, I only came on social media recently, and that's just because, you know, with my music and everything, I always knew that I was going to get on social media, but I only wanted to use it from a business sense. So it was only until it got to a certain level, that's when because I just felt like, it's just like, you know, like imagine your company, you got like you know at some point we're going to need a website. But if your company isn't ready to have a website, you're not just going to have a website just because that's what companies do. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the website has to serve a purpose. So for me, I didn't want to just get on social media just because that seemed like the thing to do. I wanted it to be right. Yeah. And I feel like with social media, it is a situation where it has so many benefits.
The house is now open. At this time, we invite you to take your seats for this evening's performance of the Light in the Concert, which will begin at 8 o'clock.
Thank you. Oh, they're still going.
Inside the auditorium this evening, as long as they're open to speak. The house is now open, so please take your seats. Thank you.
What was I saying?
About social media.
Yeah, there's so many good things, but there's so many bad aspects to it as well.
But yeah, it's a funny, interesting debate. I was actually talking about this a lot last week and maybe at the weekend with my co-writer and also Sophie, right? Okay, yeah. And we were talking about the fact of...
Big up Sophie, by the way.
Do you know Instagram's only been around for 9 years? Yeah. Facebook started in 2015 or 2014, so these things are still in their kind of infancy, you know, and they've already caused so much change in society that if you think about it, like, what's the future got to hold? Like, like you said, you just jumped on social media. I've been on it since the beginning, right?
So I've
seen the changes, and when I first got on Instagram, it was like people didn't even know what it was for. Like, they were like, people were posting these artsy pictures and like all these vintage stuff, and it was kind of nice space to be. Like, it was kind of like, and then as time went on, it's kind of like people were like, you know, as things are, like, testing the boundaries, how far can we take this? And everyone's setting each other's standards to the point where 9 years later, we are so spiraled out of control. We don't know what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable on Instagram or just social media in general. It just feels like people are kind of... Maybe it's not a bad thing, but then it's maybe not a good thing. You don't need to tell everyone everything that's going on with you, you know?
It's just like... And that's the reason why I didn't jump on it for so long. Because... it's just the whole. I mean, I've always been a person. I don't like fakeness. That's just it. Just irritates me. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like some people say I don't like fakeness, but really, like, you don't really care. But like literally, it's like I can rant about an hour easily about, you know, if someone's done something like on a fake level, because it's just like, what is the point? Like, because my mum always used to say something like, if you're lying, like when I got caught out telling a lie, I used to get in trouble in school all the time, so try and lie about stuff. And like, if I got caught, one thing she always said to me, like, you're not lying to me, you're only lying to yourself.
Oh, my mum used to say that all the time. Used to hit me deep.
Trust me, bro.
What you mean?
Like, do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, those kind of words kind of stuck with me, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I could go out and, like, you know, lie about, you know, oh, I've got this car, or, you know, I've got this much money. And at the end of the day, if people believe me because I've sold the lie good enough, that's great, innit? But at the end of the day, I still know that I haven't got any of those things. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what kind of I just think about when these people are doing it. All right, so you said that, you know, you go on all these crazy holidays and, you know, you've got all this kind of clothes and whatnot. But, like, you know that you don't have that. Like, people think that, but it's like, is that enough? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Does that feeling of people think you have that stuff, is that what you, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's just so weird.
And it's also maybe the instant gratification that we get. Like you said, people just want things.
Yeah.
So I post a picture and it gets a certain amount of likes, it makes me feel better about myself. But what if I post a picture and it doesn't get as much likes as the previous picture? Then I might feel a way about that. You know, then I might have to do whatever I can to try and reach that point. So if you think about it, social media is like a drug. Yeah,
100% it's a drug. It's an emotional drug.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's it preys on people's insecurities. So if you're an insecure person, social media is not the place for you. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you really need to deal with those securities before going, because social media is a ruthless, wild west frontier type of, like, environment. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, because, you know, I feel sorry for people who, like, you know, go on social media and, like, and, you know, they encounter, like, you know, cyberbullying and all that kind of, that's really, like, heartbreaking stuff. But at the same time, and it's an unpopular opinion, but it's like, you don't need to be on social media. Like,
you don't even have to take any notes of it.
Because people would be like, you know, like, you know, this social media bullying and cyber. What's the answer? The answer is don't go on it.
Yeah, log off.
Like, literally,
delete the comments.
Go on it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, and that is a really, like, unpopular opinion to have. Like, you can literally, I don't know, like, get hounded down crazy just for even, like, uttering that. Yeah. But the fact is, it's like people act like social media is life. Like that, and it's funny because in a way it kind of is becoming life, but at the same time it's like you can survive without it. And if you want to be a part of it, you have to know what it comes with. Right now it's so unregulated, and the whole point of social media, the whole thing is these people, you have obviously the openness of it, whereas, like, you know, if you're on Facebook, they try and crack down to make sure everyone's, like, got real accounts and it's the real people. But there's other things where the whole beauty of it is people get to be who maybe they want to be. Do you know what I'm saying? And you take these companies, they know that, so they don't want to take that away from people. And that allows people to have a certain level of anonymity. Once you get anonymity, people show who they really are, or they try and be what they can't be in real life. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're that person that you get bullied and whatever, and you can't assert yourself on social media, you get to be the big strong bully and the one bullying others now, because do you know what I'm saying? And it's just a shame that, but that's the fact. That's what it's about. So it's like people need to be educated that you're going to be a part of this world. You have to understand right now, that's what it's about.
It's true.
And if you can't handle it, then do you know what I'm saying?
But I think it's kind of hard for maybe people who are being born into it like now,
I'll
whereas
get you.
us who have kind of we can
We've seen
remember a
it
time before it.
Exactly. No, I feel that. I
And
feel that.
So like for us, it's kind of like I remember what it was like before the internet, bro. You know?
And the thing is, I was speaking to someone just the other day, about the internet. And when it first came, do you remember? Because back in the day, there was no search engine. So it's like, for you to go and check something, you had to know
where you were going.
the website. You had to know the website of what you were going on. And it's just like, and this is gonna sound mad, but like, I was just gonna keep it real. Obviously, as a kid, especially being a boy, you're trying to find porn sites.
When that picture loads, that was it.
But you know, but the funny thing is, like now, like imagine that you wanted to, like, you know, like go and check some porn. You can just type in whatever your fancy is, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, women, this with like certain whatever. I'm not gonna get into, like, you know what I'm talking about, innit? You can type in the keywords of whatever you're interested in, and that would come up. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas then you had to know. So unless someone gave you the website, you're just typing. If you typed in whatever, you know, big booty chick, you're just gonna get a blank page because that doesn't exist. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. So life was so different.
And we can remember the time where there was no use the phone and be online.
Oh my days!
Was be online or use the phone,
mate.
I remember times where I used to come home from work, or not work, sorry, from school, and I'll jump online. I'll be online for a bit, and then my mum would be like, I want to use the phone,
mate. It was so peak. And the thing is, like, when kind of like, you know, like the file to file, the P2P sharing and that, you know, like, what was it, like LimeWire, Napster. So those were the kind of first times where, like, you know, people like downloading music. Like these guys, whoever created these were the pioneers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So streaming.
But the funniest thing is, like, back then, it's like, it would take like now if you was to download a track, like what, couple seconds, 30 seconds, depending on your kind of internet speed or whatever, that track, a whole album, a couple of minutes. Back then, one track could take you like close to an hour. Real talk.
That's real, bro.
Like just one 3-minute track, take you close to an hour, And then the thing is, like, as you're just looking at that that percentage bar, if that got to like 90 something and that phone rang, boom, you've been waiting a whole hour, that's gone.
That's it.
And then by the time you come back, you have to start again. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Life was real.
No, it was.
Like, you would have to, like, you know them ones, like, you have to do your file sharing at night. Like, you know what I'm saying? That you just did a whole bag, like 20 tracks or whatever, and just left that and just hope nobody rang.
You know?
No one did an emergency call, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I don't want to say we had it easier, but life was actually much simpler.
Nah, it was.
Back then, like, there was a time when in life, if you can imagine it, where you could go somewhere, and on the travels there, you might have come up with there might be traffic on the way. You wouldn't be able to tell the person who you're meeting until you turned up 2 hours later.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it was. The level of connection was just like, it was a myth. And you just think, like, how did we survive? But we did, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's, as you said, innit, like, people that, not everyone had a mobile phone. No. So it's, if you was caught in something, if you had a meeting with someone, or if you couldn't find your, like, imagine, like, back then, like, there was no Google Maps. So you had to rely on remembering
there was
the
no sat-nav, you know,
that someone gave you, like, do you know what I'm saying?
I remember
like,
being in the car with my dad, and my dad would give me the map, and he would be like, we're here, right? Just tell me when we're coming off of the junctions, and I'm like, oh, all right. And I can do that, but, like, there's people that if the sat-nav was to go down, and you're in the middle of nowhere, you're screwed.
You're screwed.
And, like, it shouldn't, it's even like bigger things, like the fact that we don't know how to farm for ourselves. So if God forbid everything was to go down and there was to be no supermarkets, what are we doing? Like, we can't
That's why I watch all these kind of like Walking Dead and that, because I'm trying to get ready, bro. Like there's certain people.